Hello, beautiful souls of the Sacred Heart. Welcome to another Love Wisdom video on Facebook Live, if you're on live, or if you're on my YouTube channel. Welcome. I'm Monica Bermudez. I am an intuitive self-love energy healer. And so on a weekly basis, I do these Facebook Live videos when I can to provide a specific love wisdom message. So the message that I was intuitively feeling now for some time is interconnected with trust, with non-judgmental, and acceptance. And it's all related to our own sacred heart and opening our heart. And so I want to just touch on these subjects and explain a little further what they mean. So how many of us have experienced, lack of trust in being able to open our heart, being able to open your heart to someone else, to some other situation, or finding it very difficult? Well, I, for one, have experienced it myself. So this is why I also wanted to explain or discuss this further in the download of information that I was getting from my guides to discuss. So first of all, today is January 22nd of 2021. We are starting the year of 2021. We're still within the first month. And I have to say, energetically speaking, that this month has been a bit all over with the energy. And it's partly due because of the astrological formation of the different planets in play, of the zodiac signs. And just to briefly tell you some of the things that I've been feeling at times, been feeling a bit of heaviness from the collective, and so feeling some periods of rest and downtime. And with that heaviness, then there's experience of clarity. And so all of this just mixture of some energy that is moving to get us grounded into 2021 and what we come to do here on the planet, because we are still in this energy of ascension that we're all moving into, and we're expanding with the energy. We're expanding with the universe, because everything around us is energy. The universe is energy, and we carry the universe within us. So back to the topic that for this video message on trust. So it is a delicate matter to discuss when we're talking about trust and opening the heart, because we're asking ourselves, is it safe to trust? Is it safe to open the heart and trust? So a lot of pain and grief and all that inside our heart, makes it very difficult. And so I often, wonder, using the analogy, if it's similar to, say, does the egg come first or does the chicken come first? I don't know if many of you have heard of it before, but it's one of those philosophical debates or questions. So would the same apply for this? Would trust come before opening your heart, or would opening your heart bring your trust? So I feel that there's a bit of both, and even for the chicken and the egg. So not to really debate it, but just wanted to just set the tone for those questions and what's going to lead into the discussion. When we're buried in grief and loss and pain, it is a huge block in our heart. And we build these own big walls, fences, barricades, you name it, the works, right? Everything around your heart, you just want to keep it closed and safe, because keeping it closed means that your heart is safe and you won't get hurt again. And so that's why we get into these trust issues with opening our heart. And so, we have, the reasons for it, because there's a memory of this old pain that is still buried in those layers. And some of it comes from this lifetime, and other times from the many past lifetimes. So when we are, gone through many heartbreaks in different forms, all of that gets buried into the cells of your own heart, of your own being, and it's still there, lingering. And sometimes it could be so unconscious or subconscious to you, you may not even be aware of it. But when you feel that you want to open up to somebody else or to a certain situation, it feels like there is a wall, that there is something holding you back from wanting to open up fully. There is that lack of trust or no trust. So then we just feel that we must just stay the way we are, because we are in our own comfort zone and it's safer to be that way. Because part of the memory is saying, if you open your heart again, you're going to get hurt again. And you're going to go through this situation all over again. Oh no, not this again, not this whole grief, this whole pain and loss. And so I could tell you from my own personal experience, when I went through it, I was lacking a lot of trust. I didn't want to open my heart again. And when I wanted to open my heart to somebody else, it just felt like I was hitting this wall. Like there was this huge barricade. Something really holding me back from wanting to expand even more. So I wanted to just dig a little deeper into the whole trust. First of all, when we start to cultivate more of our own self-love, that's when we start to trust. But the trust is something that sparks inside of you, inside of us. It's in all of us. So when we start to really build our own self-love, we also build on our own trust. But it is the trust of our own divine source connection that we hold inside of us. And so it is trusting in us that we carry that energy, that life force of love that is so huge and intense. And so you started with self-love, right? And that's how the heart also starts to open. But then as the heart also opens, then you expand more on the trust. And it's not to say that you're going to trust blindly just to anybody, right? Because the thing about the heart, and as I've explained in previous videos, is that scientifically it's been found that the heart also carries very similar neurons to the brain neurons. So you could say that the heart also has its own brain, its own intelligence. So you can call it the heart of wisdom, the heart with love, intelligence, and love, wisdom. And we ourselves carry a lot of that intelligence within our own heart. So yes, our heart can interconnect with our own mind in sharing, working together as what one may call emotional intelligence. But I feel that most of the emotional intelligence comes from the heart itself because of the similar neurons that exist within the heart that are similar to the brain. So you carry your own divine wisdom within your own heart. When you tap into this sacred heart of your own portal, as I've explained in some other videos as well, the sacred heart is a portal. Hi, Linda. Welcome, those who are live. And just, to explain that the sacred heart itself is a portal of huge amount of love and our own divine source connection. So when we really start to build on this trust in ourselves, we're also expanding ourselves with our own love, and we're beginning to trust our own abilities of who we are, which leads us also into the non-judgmental. Now, being non-judgmental, of course we're human, right? So we live in this world of duality, of the shadow, the light. And so this is more of being an observer, looking at it from a space of neutrality without the judgment of our own perception. Because we all carry our own perception of life based on our own personal experience as humans. And so we have a tendency to judge based on that experience. We have a tendency to judge our others or situations. And so we end up in a way, it's almost crippling, and it's like a veil, and it's also a block to do that. And it also, we also judge ourselves too. And as part of that is getting into the being really critical of ourselves. So I feel like it's easier to judge ourselves and criticize ourselves more than anybody else would. And so, all of this goes back to the whole self-image, and it has tendency to lead into comparison to others. And sometimes when we're looking at other people's success, we have a tendency to compare and say, well, why can't I have, that? And so when we get in a space of non-judgmental, it is a space of being neutral and just being an observer. And it doesn't mean that you lose your intelligence by being non-judgmental. What it means is that, in a way, it's actually a wiser thing to do, because you're being more mindful and becoming more aware of your own thoughts and what it is that you're really judging, and just being, aware of that. And the more you become aware, the more you start to wake up on things, right? It's part of this waking up process. And, oh, Linda, you're hitting some nerves now. What does that mean? So just to share, that being non-judgmental is also an aspect of discernment. So discernment is more of just being wiser and having clarity and just interconnected, being connected with everything and everyone, and just being in this space of neutrality. And so there, I feel like there is that bit of non-judgmental and trust that kind of interconnects with each other. And so the other aspect of, which leads us into now the acceptance, right? That was part of the video, because I'm looking to trust, non-judgmental, and acceptance. So in acceptance is really about accepting ourselves and our own unique self and who we are. And so when we accept ourselves, then we're also accepting our own trust, and also just accepting that we just are. And so anyway, so going back to the acceptance, when we tend to accept ourselves in our own uniqueness, then we're also stepping more into our own self-love and our own worth and our own image. Thank you for sharing that, Linda. So I hope, this message that I'm sharing is helping or shedding some light into what it is that I wish to share in this love wisdom video. That is the intention, is to help with the process of any form of healing or support in understanding what is happening when it comes to opening the heart, when it comes to trust, when it comes to non-judgmental and acceptance. And based on my own experience, because as we're stepping into these new energies, we do have to, I feel that we need more of the discernment aspect of things. And there's a lot of energy in the mix, and it's causing a bit of chaos everywhere. So it does feel chaotic at times and confusing. But so these three, like when we begin to trust and we begin to accept and love ourselves more, or let's see, trust to be, non-judgmental, or to just accept who you are. And when, let's say that we're having issues with trust, just as an example of a practical aspect to do, is to really take a few minutes of your time and just pause, or just take time for yourself and rest, and just really take a deep breath and just really just tune into your own heart, right? And you can do it now if you want to try it. Whoever, is watching this video, whether you're watching it live or not, or a replay, and you take a deep breath, right? Just really tune in and contemplate into your own heart, your own sacred heart, and just ask the question, what is it that is hurting? What is this pain? Why can't I trust? And the heart will speak to you if you allow it for a few seconds. So what does the heart say to you? And please, feel free to share in comments sections when you get a chance to do that bit of an exercise or practical aspect of things to help you along the way with building your own trust, building onto the non-judgmental, and building onto the acceptance, because it will also build and expand you of this open heart and connect you more to your own divine source. So I welcome any other comments you may have regards to the message, and I hope that it does help. If anybody missed the radio show presentation last week with Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love, that I gave an engaging conversation with Dr. Jean Farish. It's on replay, it's on demand, and I've shared the link in my Facebook. So I invite you to watch it if you haven't already, and feel free to share with others who need to hear the message and support, energy support. And just let me know how everybody's doing and how things are going, and how the exercise was for you when you get a chance to do it. And I do hope that we're able to connect in the next Love Wisdom video, the live. And if there's anything you need that I can support with, feel free to reach out to me. And I'm sending you all so much love, and I'm so grateful for all of you for being here. So thank you all, and much love. Take care.